Hello, ineffable being. How are you doing? I hope you're having an amazing, wonderful, magical day full of light and joy and happiness. I want to tell you that you are a genius. You are special. You mean the world and you are loved. Today's topic is mediocrity. Mediocre. So, I'm sure wherever you are in your life today, you may not be where you want to go. And this could be financially, in terms of relationships, spiritually, and you might be doing everything you can. And if you're doing everything you can, then you're doing everything you can. And I want to invite you, to those of you that are doing everything you can to reach play point B, then I want to motivate you and say, just relax, enjoy the journey. You can't do anything more than everything you can do. And if you are doing this, the universe, God, the unified quantum field, karma, whatever you want to call it, is looking at your efforts. And if your efforts, again, are everything, and you're putting it all on the line, we're talking about blood, sweat, and tears, time, 16-hour days, then you know what? Don't worry about it because you're going to have your breakthrough. You're going to just wake up one day and you're going to have what you expect from all this work. But in order to get there, we have to decide not to be mediocre. So let me boil it down to you what I think mediocrity, what it is to be mediocre. And I've kind of touched on a couple things. The first one is doing everything you can do, and also the 1% factor, which they go hand in hand. But, I have a corporate job, and oftentimes it's very difficult. I handle very prestigious accounts that the customer base is very, very special, very picky. They're pampered individuals in a way. So, and not to carry any bad connotation, but we give exceptional customer service. But you know what? It's very easy, and oftentimes I can present myself. The unconscious thought comes, well, Luis, how about you just don't send that email? Or, if it's happiness, if it's the best customer service that I can give, then I should go at that directly. Similarly, too, as if you want happiness, you should go at it directly. If you want money, you should go at it directly. Whatever it is that you want, you should go at it directly. But it's interesting because I do find myself in this predicament here and there because I'm not perfect. Some days I have more energy, some days I have less energy. Some days I sleep more, I have more rest, I am breathing more. Who knows? But we can all accept the unconscious thoughts that come, we can't perceive them, right? So there's times in my life that I am presented with the ability to not do the correct thing. Well, let's define what the correct thing is. It sounds kind of hard whenever you're looking at it from a very white filter, okay? Well, you know where you want to go. And the best way, the best filter you should adopt as to what I should do, what is mediocrity versus what is not in my life, is doing X, Y, and Z, getting me closer or further away. And that's as simple as I look at it. In my job, I want to be the best. I want to earn the most. I want to give the best customer service. I want to be happy with the work that I present. I want to make my management happy, and I want to make my life happy. So when I'm presented with these ideas, they're clouds. They're unconscious thoughts of a route. I look at this cloud and I say, well, if I do this, if I grab onto this cloud, what is it going to result? And that very simply, you can do the same thing to determine if you're doing enough, if you're being mediocre, or if you're not. And one of the next things I like to get into is the 1% factor. And this is very fundamental. This is very, very crucial for anyone that's really starting to create the life they want. Because surely once you start working 16 hours a day, eating better, working out more, running more communication, whatever it is that you are working towards. Well, you're creating a different person. You are creating yourself. If you dive in into the personal development field, if you want to grow and expand, you want to change your brain because you realize the brain is a map to the past and not to where you want to go, and that every experience in your life creates a neurological network, and you just kind of just want to get to point B, then you must create a different mind. You have to change the neural pathways in your brain, and you have to create and do things that you've never done, because the only way to create a reality that you don't actually have in the moment is to do things that you've never done. And in that route, I will tell you that you will be presented with ideas, so many ideas, and you will be a different person. You'll go from black to white, from brown to yellow. You will change the person you are in your path. And it is very easy to accept, to settle. A synonym almost to being mediocre is being able to settle. When you settle, you stop. And I almost did it in my journey. I changed. Just look, I don't know if, just look, I went from black to white, or whatever opposites you want, up, down, hot, cold. It was a 360 degrees with a 90-degree turn. Because I got tired of the person. I was like, wow, like I've done so many amazing things, and I thought that was enough. I wanted just to accept, I wanted to cradle the person that I have become, and I didn't want to accept idea 105 of how I should better my life. I said, wow, I've looked back at myself. It's been a year, 6 months, 2 years, and my family doesn't even recognize me. My friends don't even recognize me. My social media accounts don't even recognize the person I'm creating. I am a good person. I am the person I want to be. But then comes the unconscious mind. And once you're living through the heart, side note, once you're living through the heart, creating an elevated emotion, your unconscious mind does bring you forth really great thoughts. So in this state, I didn't want to hear it, and I wanted to settle. I said, wow, I looked at myself and I was so happy and I was content who I've become and who I'm working towards. But then comes the brain and says, hey, well, how about you tweak this about your life, and you go this route, and you change this, and you adopt this. Well, you know what happens when you've changed so much and you're an honorable person, and whenever you go to sleep you feel good? You know what happens when you wake up and you see that you can change something, better something about yourself? It's not that easy. It's not always easy, at least. It wasn't for me. It wasn't in the beginning. It wasn't until I decided, wait, hold on. I want to get to point B the fastest. And my unconscious mind is presenting these ideas of how I can get there faster, what to change in my life. But then my unconscious also presents the idea that, I've done enough. I'm an amazing person. So you know what I did consciously? I had to meditate on this, and I had to decide, you know what, Luis? I can receive a new idea, a new vision every single day, and if I emotionally and logically can accept that it's going to get me where I want to go, if I can logically and emotionally accept that this is something better for myself, I decided not to settle for doing 1,000 good things, and I decided to do thing 1,001, 1,002, 1,005, 1,010, 1,100, and basically all the way into infinity. So this is a very in-depth way to look at what it means to settle, what it means to be mediocre, because you can be happy with the person you currently are. And if you are, then congratulations to you. But part of mediocrity isn't working hard. It's Mediocrity really is for those of us that are stepping out of the paved road, going out on a limb, taking a leap of faith and doing the things that they want to do, because then there is no answers. But in that route, you will be a dramatically different person. And whenever you are a different person, and you're already confident, you know what? There's still room to grow. And in that moment, is when mediocrity, the question of to be mediocre or to not, to settle or to not, to keep growing is really where it gets hard. And it's really where your character is going to show. And it's really where your tenacity, the fuel, the passion, the faith, the cultivation you have towards your dream and your passion is really where you will shine. So I invite you to not be mediocre. It doesn't matter how much you've changed. It doesn't matter how many people you've helped, how much money you've earned. If you can keep growing, then I invite you today to keep growing. And that is my wish and my blessing. Please join me on this month's masterclass. It is a free masterclass over how to live through the heart. And also, I remind you that I have created a mentorship program, a 6 to 8 week mentorship program on personal development on the foundation of cultivating an elevated emotion. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a subscribe and give it a big thumbs up. Share down in the comments, what do you consider to be mediocre? And what have you done in your life when presented the opportunity to be mediocre? I hope to see you in the side of light. Goodbye.